Welcome back to Proud Masculine. I'm Joe. So today's video is about remaining unreactive in a woman's emotional upheaval and what that looks like. And just to give a quick overview, it's like when a woman gets angry or comes to you to vent or has a feeling, you notice I said feeling, to express the way she's feeling at the moment. As the reason is because she wants to feel like she has a place. That place being you as the man, her place of strength to be able to process through this moment. And so women are led by their emotions. Women are emotional creatures. They're led by their emotions. Like as men, we're led by logic and reason. And when a woman comes to you, emotionally charged, the very last thing she wants is you acting like a woman, acting like her, and responding and reacting emotionally. And this is fact. And for guys who don't know this, the first instinct is to react, is to try to explain, defend, tell her why she's wrong, or offer a logical solution to what she's feeling. And these are all things I'm going to suggest. Well, I ain't going to suggest. Don't do that. That's not how you work through this, and that's not the... Women emote, and that's what women do. That's the way a woman processes her emotions. She talks, she vents, she clears through this process. And so I guess the best example I can give, and I know this is probably overplayed a lot, is the man is to be seen as the mountain, the immovable object. And the woman is to be seen as Mother Nature, who, if you look at Mother Nature outside, it can go from 68 degrees, 40% humidity and sunny to a fucking hurricane. And whether it's a sunny day and the mountain is absorbing all that sunshine and growing the grass and the trees and all the stuff that goes on in the mountains, at the end of the day, it's still a mountain. A storm, a typhoon, a hurricane, whatever inclement weather passes through a tough, harsh winter, and it's piled with snow and blizzards. At the end of the day, the snow melts, the mountain's still there, unmoved. And look, every now and then, you'll see a boulder snap off or some erosion over time. That's the same thing as a man. You're not going to always remain perfectly intact for every situation. Because, let's face it, sometimes we have our own shit that we deal with and process. We just go about it in a different way. And, I know for men and, the people I've worked with, and this is what I impress is, through a men's perspective, sorting through shit, is we tend to isolate, we have one confidant or mentor, somebody we look up to who's ahead of us, who has what we have, what we're looking for, some of the characteristics and things and relationships and whatnot. You have somebody like that in your life. I do. I have a mentor who I run shit up the ladder to. And somebody just to offer some clear perspective, put a fresh set of eyes on it, who's not emotionally attached to the circumstance, the situation, whatever that might be. And in the relationship, you are that to your woman. But through this process, it's all beneficial, and this is part of the complementary nature and the differences between a feminine and a masculine dynamic, between a woman and a man. And that's you being able to withstand and not feed into and react to her emotional state. You know, like if she comes to you angry or concerned with something about you, and what you see a lot in society today, and it's prevalent, you know, men being raised to think that they have to be, you know, like in touch with your feelings and all. And I'm not saying you have to be an emotionless robot. That's far-fetched. I mean, that's just idiotic to think. The goal is to be, you know, emotionally centered, grounded, to be rooted in stability and calm in the face of these emotional upheavals and anything in life, really. And what that woman needs at that time in those moments is for you to sit and listen and allow her the time to process these emotions. And it's usually that. You know, women, again, are led by their emotions, and they experience a range of emotions throughout each day, and you never know what the trigger could be. She can be in a perfectly good mood and see a commercial and be all sobbing and depressed for a little bit over a commercial about a cat rescue or something. I don't know. But they go through, women experience a whole range of emotions throughout a day. And they're built for that. They're equipped for that. As men, we're not. If you try to live in that space, you'd just be chronically exhausted and stressed out. You know, and an emotion is something that comes to surface, that it's a feeling that comes about to mirror an external circumstance. Like if you're feeling happy, you know, externally, in your external world, something good's going on. So you get a feeling of happiness and joy and gratitude and fulfillment. You know, if there's something somebody does that somebody came and slaps you in the back of the head, you're going to get pissed off. The external circumstance requires that anger, the emotion of anger for that. And, but the way us as men and the way women process are different. And women need to talk. They need to vent. They need to release it. They process it through talking and speaking. And if you know, women talk. Women speak 8,000 words a day on average. And men, we speak 2,000 words a day. We process things differently. We approach things differently. So when a woman comes to you in an emotional upheaval or something emotional, she does not want you to jump into her frame. She doesn't want you to enter her emotional frame and enter that with her. And that's why she's coming to you instead of her or another woman. She's attempting to process and be able to, you know, make sense of what the feeling is. So, you know, and that's why I refer to being the mountain. She's the storm in that moment. And then, like I said, that moment, what a woman feels in a moment is just what it is in a moment. It may be absolute truth in her reality. That emotion may be the end-all, be-all for that moment. And what's important to do is just be available and unaffected. That's why she's coming to you, for strength, for clarity, for security, and just a bit of safety and comfort to know that she has a place to process these things. And what that does over time is build trust in you. It builds a trust that you know she can rely on you. And that's important in a relationship. And look, I know they have some toxic shit out there from a certain sect of the space for men's health and men's improvement. That's like, that'll say something along the lines of, "Oh, you're not her psychiatrist," and you tell her to go talk to her friends about that shit. Take that shit to your friend. I don't want to hear all that drama. Then what? That's the last thing you want to do to somebody who you love and are well connected with. And this is what a relationship looks like. This is your duty and responsibility in a relationship as a man to uphold this part of the relationship. You're the man, and he is where, and this is what I refer to as burden of performance. And it's not even a burden. For guys who don't know and understand this shit, a woman coming to them with a challenge or an issue or a problem, however you want to word it, even if they just had a bad day and it seemed like they're griping, a man's first reaction is, "Oh boy, here we go," or if it's something about him, if there's a concern or a challenge to do with them and they're approached by the woman, they immediately want to get defensive and start explaining and trying to outlogic her emotionally, trying to make sense of how she's feeling. That does not work. It doesn't work. You can't outlogic emotion. And you can't apply emotion to logic either. So the last thing you want to do is try to explain to a woman why they're feeling like that. That just totally shuts them down. And over time, that just builds up a subconscious barrier for her to think, "I can't rely on this man. I can't trust this man to allow me to be a woman, to be feminine," because feminine women do this. Don't conflate this with a constant conflict-filled, nagging bitch, for lack of better words. Some women are like that. They're just unhappy and always try to dump and unload shit on you. I'm not saying that. That's not. You got a choice to make there. Either over time you set some boundaries, adhere to the boundaries, and things change, or you leave. But just to have some non-compliant person who doesn't respect your boundaries and constantly wants to use you just to vomit their negativity on, that's not what I mean, and that's not what this is. This is about a healthy relationship between a man and a woman, and a man's place and a woman's place in that relationship. And honestly, this is one of the differences that I consider complementary. That we possess the logic and women possess the emotion. And I'm not saying men are emotionless robots and women are dumb and don't have the ability to reason and logic. But the primary operating system is women come from an emotional place and men come from a logical place. So, and what she's looking is just to be heard, to be clear, to process. That doesn't necessarily mean she wants answers. If she comes up to you in a fuss and she's angry about something that you did, a few things you're not going to do is say, A, don't say calm down. That's never in the history of human existence has that actually calmed somebody down. Not only has it not calmed anybody down, that only adds fuel to the fire. Because immediately you're invalidating that person. You're telling them in a way, stop feeling how you feel right now. No, that's not the way. The next thing is to interject when she comes to you with the opening concern and begin to try to logically explain what it is, or telling her how she should feel, or solve the problem. She's solving the problem by coming to you. And it's not even a problem. She's working through the challenge. So just allow her to speak. Be attentive and listen. And I don't mean listen as, all right, I'm going to have to hear her go on for the next 5 minutes. Let me sit here and listen. I mean, genuinely listen. Because within the explanation, when she says, I feel like XYZ. When she begins that, you listen. The solution's in there, the answer's in there. She just wants to be understood and be validated and know that she has permission to go through her natural emotional process to sort this out. And she's coming to you for it. So that's a good thing. You know, over time, you start shutting a woman out, or you stop listening, or you ignore or invalidate or try to, you know, in all of your inner Einstein, try to explain to her the hows and whys of it. The only thing you're going to serve to do is she will slowly lose trust and will be going to somebody else with these emotions. And believe me, there's somebody out there who's willing to listen. So, this is really simple. It's simple in theory, and depending on where you're at, where you at are in your development and growth and mentality and your emotional maturity, is it may not be as it's simple in theory, maybe a difficult in practice if you're not used to it, and if you yourself are a fucking emotional mess, because there are men out there, I've seen it. There's a lot, especially these days, with these effeminate ass men who, if a woman comes to them with a challenge or, you know, something that they perceive or feel, because you hear that word a lot, I feel. That's why women say that, because they feel like you're taking me for granted, or I feel like you didn't listen, or I asked you to do this and you just disregarded, and you know, the men start getting butthurt and offended, want to start an argument. So what did you just do? You just took that emotional upheaval and poured gasoline on it, because now you're acting like a woman. Stop that. Just listen. Listen to what she's saying. And again, I'll repeat, this is not for chronically miserable women who will constantly dump shit on you and are constantly ungrateful and just want to point out everything that you do wrong. It's not the same thing. And there's a difference, and you'll know it. But when you're dealing with a healthy feminine woman and sees you as the strength figure, the male figure, the masculine figure in the relationship, this is going to be her natural proclivity, is to come to you to work through this. And yes, it is your position, it is your job to be that mountain. Let her unleash the storm. You're unaffected. You're centered. You're just present. And that's all they need is the presence. And there should be some gratitude that you're the one she's coming to for this. You're the one she trusts. You're her safe space in that respect. She feels protected. When a woman can open up to you, that's it. When a woman feels open, all the good things happen. The love, the affection, the praise, the encouragement, the fire sex, she's pleasant to be around because she can just relax and open up and release and be herself. And part of a woman being themselves is being able to process these emotions with you through verbalizing it, expressing it verbally, talking through the shit. And the best part is you really don't even need to do much talking. And at the end of the explanation, you may reiterate some things that she said. It kind of reinforces that she's listening. It validates that what she's saying is okay, that you understand, that she's been heard. And like, for instance, if she's coming to you about, I noticed you were being a little grumpy the other day and being distant, and you know, so you listen. You know, it's not going to be that short. I'm not going to get into this long what a dialogue should sound like. Make it real simple. And look, if you want more help and you know a deeper understanding of this, go to proudmasculine.com pricing. Also proudmasculine@yahoo.com. Now you can, you know, email me with a question. Maybe I'll make a video. But go to proudmasculine.com pricing, book a call. You know, we can work through this. I can show you what that looks like in great detail and great depth. And like, share, comment, subscribe. And also I've added a donate button. So if you feel like this video has helped you, donate. It helps me build the channel. It gives me more time here. It helps me upgrade the production value and whatnot. All the money sent goes straight back into this to help men. But so after she's expressed the concern, the challenge, whatever that looks like, all you have to do is repeat back some of the things that you've listened to and heard. Okay, so you were trying to tell me about, you know, something that you did that day that was really exciting, and I was kind of caught up in work, and you feel like I dismissed you and it wasn't important to me. And that wasn't my intention. It really wasn't. I was bogged down with work. And look, next time, you know, maybe let me know, you know, or what I could have done better is, you know, let you know, hey, I'm busy. And look, I'm excited to hear about what you have to tell me. You know, I love that you want to share these things with me. Let me finish up. Give me another 30 minutes and I can give you my full undivided attention. I want to hear all about it. Okay? And that's just a small example of what that looks like. It may be ongoing to where she has more. And then you even offer that. Is there anything else, baby? Is there anything else you need to say? Or something along those lines. Not those exact words. Or tell me more. No, tell me more. What else? And let her get it out. And you'll start to see the transformation. The body language will change. Her eyes will relax. Her voice will change from this angry, urgent, high-pitched voice to the soft-spoken, understanding, loving, caring voice that you love. It's a complete transformation. And all it requires is you not jumping in to her frame and participating in the reactivity. Not reacting, and not participating in the upheaval. It's really simple. In theory. It can be hard to practice sometimes because sometimes you're going to be dealing with things and she's going to need that attention. And at the moment, you may see it as a burden. Like when you're thinking to yourself, I don't have time for this shit right now. I got so much on my mind. But again, you're the mountain. You're the man. You're the strength. You're the one she looks up to in the relationship. And if you want the complete feminine woman who takes care of you, loves you, encourages, and she gives you that, because the emotions are really important in a relationship, and that's what a woman brings to the table in a relationship, is that feel-good stuff, the nurturing, the kindness, the encouragement. You bring the strength, the decisiveness, the ability to make the hard decisions and come up with the solutions. You know, that's the trade-off. That's the balance. It's necessary. And I've said this before on my channel, as a man, you don't get a break. And I'm not saying if you got a lot on your plate and she needs your attention for a minute, you can't tell her in a calm way, look, I want to hear everything you have to say. I really do. And I want to be able to give you 100% of my attention and be available. I'm going to finish this, and as soon as I'm done, I'll let you know and we can sit down, and I want to hear everything. And I guarantee you get 100-fold better results than, can you wait a goddamn second? Can't you see I'm busy? like, God damn. Does everything have to be about you? Yeah. And then especially reacting in anger. Like, have you ever seen what it looks like from an observer perspective, a man who's always flying off the handle and has got a hair trigger temper, and yeah, I don't want to deal with people like that. That makes me absolutely uncomfortable. And for a woman, that's a turnoff. You're essentially acting just like a damn woman by doing that shit. An unstable woman at that. So again, just to refresh, this doesn't apply for the chronic toxic woman who shits on you all the time and you have to sit there and take a beating, getting browbeaten by this woman repeatedly for little shit. That's you not standing up for yourself. And at that point, there needs to be a boundary or an exit from the relationship. But in a normal, healthy relationship with a masculine and feminine dynamic, that's perfectly natural. It's perfectly normal, for women to have these moments. And most oftentimes it's not. It's every day. There's at some point in the day, she wants to just vent and purge. Most oftentimes they're not looking for answers either. Like, you don't have to answer everything. You don't have to provide a solution. She's not asking you to fix her shit. She's just saying, listen, acknowledge, hear me. And that's just another way she you are able to reinforce that you are available, that you do have the strength to withstand these moments while she processes her stuff. And that's it. That's normal. That's healthy. It's a good thing. That's a net positive in a relationship. Having that availability and remaining centered, unaffected, unreactive. It goes a very, very, very long way. And in that way, when she knows she has the ability and has the security and the safety of being able to come to you with anything, there's nothing that gets left out. There's nothing that she can't tell you. And that just goes for men and women. If you are in a situation or a relationship where you can't maturely and lovingly go to that person and share a concern, and you got to bottle that shit up. And this is a policy in my relationship. As soon as it comes to surface, we need to get that shit out in the open. Because the devil's in the details, and there's some things that are going to piss you or her off that are obvious, where you can see it. It's in the eyes, it's in the voice, it's in the body language. There's some things that over time, if you have the attitude of, don't bother me with that shit, I don't want to hear that shit, and it's those little things. The devil's in the details, and all these little things. And I've done this in my relationship. I have clients who've done it themselves. I've had clients who have been in the position of the person that cannot healthily and maturely and lovingly, express a concern, no matter how small. And what happens is over time, and this is so toxic and so overlooked and very underestimated of how potentially harmful this can be in a relationship. These little things that you are about to go say, be like, nah, it's not that big of a deal. I'm not going to say anything. Last time I tried to mention something, turned into a fucking shit show. It turned into an argument. We walked. I'm not going to say anything. So you just stuff it down. Then the next little thing you stuff down. And this is where resentments begin. This is like the seed of a resentment. And then it becomes a festering resentment. And you can bet your ass, as sure as the sun shines, that festering resentment and all these little bitty things that weren't said because they seem stupid or unimportant, or the last time I said something, this happened and that happened, that comes out at the wrong time over something that doesn't even have to do with what's really going on in an explosive way, in a very reactive and toxic way. So a little off topic, a little bonus, consider it a bonus. But that's it. You remain unaffected. You're the mountain. You're immovable. She's Mother Nature. And that's the natural order. That's the natural displacement, the natural dynamic of the masculine and feminine in a healthy relationship. Your relationship and you will be better for it in the long run. Guaranteed. That's it. See you on the next one.